The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Today on Aging Horizons, we're going to be speaking with Murray Lou McElveen, and she's going to be telling us all about Area Agency on Aging Area 2, which is in Eastern Montana. She's going to be talking about all the wonderful work that they do, all about SHIP counselors, and a little bit about Medicare. She's got some really great information for us that you're not going to want to miss, so make sure you stay tuned to today's Aging Horizons.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
Receiving help for Ella has been life-changing, and the best word for it is relief. I was the therapist, I was the aide, and I couldn't be the mom because emotionally you're just to your wits' end. You're trying to survive.
I provide care for the Harrises, specifically their daughter Ella. Respite care is extremely challenging, but the rewards that you receive from it are 100 times more than working with a child that doesn't have special needs. Once they get something, it's everything. It's a you celebrate. You don't just enjoy those moments. You celebrate every moment that you get, that you guided them to that next step.
Respite. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. Will you provide it? Call 800-224-6034 or visit respite.mt.gov.
It went from survival to enjoying life and being able to be a mom again.
Brought to you by the Montana Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services. I'm your host, Katie Lovell, and today we're going to be speaking with Murray Lou McElveen, and she is a SHIP coordinator out of Area 2 Agency on Aging. Murray Lou, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year.
You too. So I wanted, just before we start, just talk a little bit about Medicare. I think that's one of those things that you cannot talk about too many times. I think folks can get a little bit confused between all the different programs. So can we just go over an overview? What is Medicare?
Medicare is the program that is offered to people over the age of 65, as well as individuals with disabilities over the age of 18, after a certain amount of time after a disability, possibly. And that medical care becomes their insurance as we age. And so it's your Part A and your Part B. And then, of course, we want to encourage everybody to pick up a Part D for drugs plan, even if they aren't taking any medications. The Part A plan actually covers hospital coverage if you are admitted to the hospital. Your Part B actually covers doctor visits, checkups, maybe telehealth, possibly physical therapy, things that are happening prescribed by your doctor. And so the Part B is something you pick up at the same time you pick up Part A, unless you have what's known as creditable coverage. And creditable coverage might be you're still working for your company and they're still offering you insurance. And when that's happening, all we have to do is let Social Security know, and that is who administers the Medicare Part A and B when you start, that you're not going to pick up Part B because you have insurance. And so you're going to just keep rolling along with your company insurance.
Wonderful. And where does Medicare come from? Is it something that people receive because they're low income? Is it something that we pay into? How do we get Medicare?
Great question. Medicare is actually a federal program. It follows you if you go from state to state. If you're traveling within the United States, your Medicare is your healthcare insurance. It is not based on income. It is based on age and possibly disability. And so Medicaid is the aid program that is distributed from the states. So it is state specific. If somebody moves to Montana from Oregon, they must apply for Medicaid within the state of Montana to have medical coverage if they are in lower income categories. And that's really important to know because we see it all the time in our offices as SHIP counselors, which, by the way, stands for State Health Insurance Program Counselors, or coordinator in my case. And we provide that service, that information and referral for folks to be able to get possibly filling out the applications for Medicaid, calling Social Security together with them to help them turn on their Medicare. And I say turn on the Medicare, it's activating their Medicare when they come of that age. Those sorts of things are the help that we're able to offer as SHIP counselors.
Wonderful. And are there costs to the different Medicare programs, the A, the B, and the D?
Oh, great question. Thank you. The A is usually provided because you have worked a certain amount of quarters within your lifetime, and so it is provided by Social Security at no cost to you. If you are in a higher income category or bracket, then you may be required to pay a higher premium for A and B, most likely B, because A you would have received as that benefit. But the B premium this year is about $174.70, I believe. And that is your premium, just like a car insurance premium that you pay in the event that you need medical care. Part D is a whole nother barrel of monkeys, you might say. Part D is something that I've run across folks who have never had Part D because they never took medications. And then as they age and possibly into their 70s or 80s, something happens and they need to be on a medication, but they've never had a Part D plan because somebody may have encouraged them at some point, or they didn't know they needed one because they didn't take medications. This is really important. Part D is like buying auto insurance. You don't wait until after you've had an accident to buy auto insurance. The same with Part D plans. They're very inexpensive now, especially for those folks who don't have any medications. They're as low as $5 a month. Some plans offer $0 premiums. And then there might be a deductible of $280 to $500. Just depending on what plan you go with. But it's an insurance product that you're buying in the event that you need medications.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when we get back, I really want to talk about how the SHIP program can help folks figure out what types of Medicare products that they need and maybe which drug plan they need to do. And the SHIP program is so wonderful in doing that. And there's one other part that I'd like to talk about when we get back, and those are the extra helping programs that folks can apply
Definitely.
Through.
Yes.
And SHIP counselors can help folks do that, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. And Mary Lou, when everyone turns 65, that's when folks need to start thinking about Medicare, or should we do it ahead of our 65th birthday? When do folks need to think about Medicare?
You want to start thinking about it in your 64th year, I would say, because you're given a window that is 3 months prior to your 65th birthday, the month of your 65th birthday, as well as 3 months after your 65th birthday. But your coverage won't start until your birthday month. And if you wait until your birthday month to apply for Medicare, it may not start until the following month. So you want to get on that. I always encourage my clients to get their Medicare coverage started, get the process started before you turn 65, but only 3 months ahead of time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. When we get back, we're going to talk about all of the important things that SHIP coordinators and SHIP counselors can help you do across Montana. So stay tuned.
Perhaps our regular viewers have noticed that we've been missing a host for the last several months. In July, our favorite person, Kimmy Everman, unexpectedly passed away, and we'd like to take a few moments now to share some memories that we have of her.
For many of us watching Aging Horizons with Kimmy on, the host, was like talking to a friend, and for Kimmy, that's exactly what it was. She cared about all of the viewers of Montana on Aging Horizons as if they were her personal friends. She wanted each of us to live the best possible life and connect to as many services as possible. She had no greater joy in life than connecting advocates to others that could help Montanans across the state with problems that they maybe didn't know as much about. Losing Kimmy was a great loss to the state of Montana, but the work that she did will live on in the hearts and minds and Rolodexes of so many of us at the state.
So working with Kimmy was always a very fun experience for me. She lit up a room with her smile, and I loved her giggle. She had this giggle that was the cutest, most happiest spreading of joy that I could describe. She also was very passionate about her work, about helping veterans, and about her dog Sophie.
Kimmy's been my friend, my coworker, and my mentor for over 20 years. She has taught me so much about not only Medicare, but working with people. She had a great sense of compassion and love, especially for veterans, animals, and the underdog. She loved working with seniors and people with disabilities. That was her heart. She will be greatly missed.
Aging Horizons has been on the air for over 30 years, and I've had the pleasure of working with these wonderful ladies and everybody in senior long-term care that length of time, including Kimmy Everman. And whenever we got done with the show, I just loved her laughter, which everybody's commented here. It was like we're getting away with something. Isn't this fun? And I will sincerely miss both that and her.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. Today we're speaking with Mari-Lou McElveen, and we are talking everything about Medicare. So we talked a little bit about the cost of Medicare in the last segment, but now I want to talk a little bit about the helping programs. So those are so important for so many folks. Can you tell me a little bit about the helping programs?
Sure, Katie. So Medicare savings programs, you'll hear them referred to as MSP, and sometimes you'll see or hear ads that say the Social Security is giving you $2,000 a year. And in reality, what that is that if you qualify for a Medicare savings plan, the Medicaid, the state of Montana, pays for your Part B premium. And so that is about a savings of $2,000 a year.
Wow.
The gotcha there, or the thing to remember, is, of course, that we have income guidelines. And if your income is below a certain level, but you don't qualify for Medicaid assistance with your Medicare, you may qualify for some of these Medicare savings programs. And some of them pay for the Part B premium, and some of them pay for the Part B premium as well as other benefits based on, again, your income and your assets. And so that's an important part to remember when you see those ads out there that are talking about the Social Security is going to give you back a certain amount of money. It's because you may qualify for the Medicare savings programs. And so you'll want to call your SHIP counselor about that and check and see if you do.
And how do folks know if they qualify? What are the guidelines for folks to qualify?
Well, they haven't come out with the 2024 numbers, but in 2023, if your income was below $1,200 as an individual and $1,600 as a couple, then you would qualify for the highest qualified Medicare beneficiary Medicare savings program. And that would pay for not only your premium of Part B, the $174.70, it would also pay for any co-pays or deductibles you might experience when you visit the doctor's office. So that's very, very helpful to folks. And this includes people who are possibly on a Medicare Advantage plan and traditional Medicare. The other plan is called Slim B, and that is a savings plan that if your income is over that $1,200 a month and goes to, I'd say, about $1,400 for a single person, $1,900 for a couple, and they cover your Part B. Then they cover your Part B premium.
Wonderful.
And then QI is also qualified individual making less than $1,600 a month, and you would also have your Part B premium paid for.
Those are such important programs for folks, and just one of the so many important services that SHIP counselors can provide. So let's talk a little bit about the SHIP program. I assume it's not about boats, but tell me again what we're talking about.
Or other things, and it does stand for State Health Insurance Program Counselor or Coordinator, and that's what we help with. We help folks with Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Again, we do encourage people to understand that we are the folks who help them fill out the applications for, say, Medicaid or even SNAP programs, LIHEAP, any of the assistances that are out there for senior citizens and folks with disabilities. We're here to help at the area agencies on aging, and that's what we do, is get that paperwork completed, make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, make sure they have proof of identification, bank statements, all of those things they need to provide to the Department of Health and Human Services, as well as the Office of Public Assistance, which is underneath DPHHS. And with that, that encourages the system to move along. And that's what we do, is we help the system to move along to best help the clients that are in the areas that we serve.
And one of the things that I think is so important about SHIP coordinators is that you guys don't have a horse in the race, as it were. You're not insurance salesmen. You're not trying to sell any particular products. Can you talk a little bit about that unbiased nature?
I think that's actually one of the best reasons for me to wake up in the morning, is that I'm helping people without there being an ulterior motive.
Sure.
There's no sales pressure involved from me. When somebody asks me my opinion, I inform them that it is just an unbiased opinion of what is available to them, what services are available to them by opening that Medicare and You book that Social Security sends out every year. It is a fantastic resource. I can't encourage people enough. In fact, this month, every senior center I go to is getting a little bit of Murray Lou presentation on the Medicare and You book, because it does have so many resources in it for folks who have questions about what their Medicare is going to cover, as well as what Medicare Advantage is, what a Medigap or supplement policy is. And then I can just tell them they need to visit with their local insurance agent if they're interested in purchasing one of those policies, because that is no longer within the Medicare, the federal choice. That is your choice as a person. And that was the federal government's attempt to offer not socialize. Oh my gosh.
Just additional choices to
additional
folks.
Choices. Thank you.
Yeah.
Additional choices to purchase insurance. You know, it's a free marketplace out there as far as auto insurance goes. And we call our auto insurance company and ask them information. Ask them if they have a Medicare Advantage specialist in their office, because many of them do now. And you can look at those Medicare Advantage plans through them. But we are able to show them through that Medicare and You book what options are available and how that works out. Like a G plan is a G plan is a G plan, no matter where you go. It's not going to change. And the differences in the pricing. And so people have that fair market opportunity to be able to choose what they want in supplementing their traditional Medicare with a Medigap or a supplement, or switching over to Medicare Advantage plan, where there are many benefits to having a Medicare Advantage plan. I just encourage people to consider being within a preferred provider organization or a health maintenance organization, and within how much they travel, maybe, because we want their plan to travel with them. And from what I understand, a lot of those Medicare Advantage plans are now traveling with people. So those are great options too.
Wonderful. When we get back, I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the important services that Area 2 provides. So we'll be right back. So stay tuned.
Okay.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
Today, class, we'll be discussing the term ombudsman, a word we borrowed from the Swedes and never gave back. Say you're a resident or you have a loved one in long-term care. Now, what do you do if you're not happy with the care and services you receive? You call your long-term care ombudsman, of course. Your ombudsman is available to support you and your rights. An advocate on your behalf could be the ticket. This is your home. If you have questions, the numbers right there below me have all the answers. Class dismissed.
A decade of Montana fourth graders on Energy Share. Robbie Holman reminds us that even during the chilliest Montana winters, our homes don't have to be cold, not if we energy share the love. And Emma Bergman knows who to call when the cost of heating your home starts to put a chill on your family. Emma says, when winter is in the air, it's time to care with Energy Share. Energy Share is not a government program. It's neighbors helping neighbors who face energy emergencies the Montana way. Call or visit our website today. Thanks, Energy Share, for helping people in need.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. Today we're speaking with Mary Lou McElveen, and she is from Area 2, Agency on Aging, and she's been telling us all about Medicare, a little bit about the SHIP program, and we're going to talk a little bit about what Area 2 does now. So before we start with that, Mary Lou, I think we missed one of the really important helping programs, which is the Part D programs. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Absolutely. There's something called an LIS, low income subsidy, and it is to help with your prescription medication premiums as well as sometimes the cost of your medications. So if you, again, qualify within the income guidelines, for individuals, it's around $19,000 a year. You may be eligible for some of these helping programs. And that, again, is just one way to reach out to your SHIP counselor. And if you reach out on the SHIP hotline, that is a statewide hotline, you will be able to be carried into one of our phone lines that is in your area, so to an area agency on aging. And for us, we're here in Roundup. We have 11 counties and 2 Indian reservations that we serve. And so we get a lot of windshield time when we're out there traveling. And we have a lot of services here at Area 2 Agency on Aging that I'd love to cover with you.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about some of the services that Area 2 helps the wonderful people in your area with.
Okay, so beginning with, we have our local ombudsman. And an ombudsman is actually somebody who goes into a nursing home and is able to assist with any grievances or concerns that a family or an individual might have while living in a facility, possibly an assisted living facility or an actual nursing home. Then we have our representative payee and guardianship programs. And those are 2 programs that are not widely known but are very much needed. And those are services that help people who aren't able to help themselves when it comes to managing their funds. Sometimes they're court ordered. That's the guardianship program. Sometimes it's a rep payee program that is needed. It's an individual who is no longer able to handle their finances in a way that is helpful to them. One, paying their rent, paying their phone bill, possibly meal services, things that are needing to be paid on a monthly basis that need to be overseen by somebody like a representative payee. And we have those folks here at Area 2 Agency on Aging also. Then we have your Community First Self-Directed Care Program. This program is actually able to be serviced to individuals who have Medicaid along with their Medicare. And as long as they're approved for Medicaid, those individuals can get help within their home. And we become the HR agency basically for that person who is working within the home for the individual who's in need of maybe light housekeeping, maybe running errands, maybe preparing some meals, checking in on folks. And that service is specifically for folks who qualify for Medicaid. Then we have your Veteran Directed Care Program, which is one of those services that we can't sing the praises enough for our veterans. We are very honored to serve veterans and know that throughout the state, there are so many retired veterans that are needing the services of somebody within their home. And our 2 wonderful employees, Susie and Rebecca, help with that program to be able to bring those services to our veterans. Then we have the SHIP program. And for Area 2, that's me and Laura. And we provide services, as I said before, in getting folks signed up for Medicare, Medicaid. Those are the main services, the state health insurance. Those are the main services that we provide. But as well as looking at Medicare Advantage programs, we're able to help them look at those through the Medicare.gov website or help them lead the way so that they understand how to look at the Medicare.gov website. Sometimes folks are still in the technology bubble where they're not quite ready to commit to understanding how the service works. And sometimes we can teach them that, give them their username and password, then they can go on to Medicare.gov and see where they stand with their health insurance, their Medicare Advantage plan, their Part D plan. It's all very helpful. And that's what I really enjoy about being a SHIP counselor is we come in to help every day. The frustrating part is sometimes we can't always help because we don't make the decisions. We're not legislators. We're not lobbyists. We are an impartial person helping people navigate the systems. And that's what we get to do as SHIP counselors.
Absolutely wondrous. There are so many of those services that really help people stay in their homes, stay in their communities.
Yes.
So important. How do people get in touch with Area 2?
They can reach out via the state helpline, or if they want to reach out through the state SHIP line, And our number here at Area 2 Agency on Aging is 406-323-1320. And we are happy to help out however we can and encourage people to give us a call, just whatever they have questions about. We do also cover the services of Senior Medicare Patrol, which is watching for fraud and helping to teach people to look out for fraud through their Medicare notices, getting their Medicare notices every month, those summaries of where they're getting care, who they got care from, what kind of care they got. And if there happens to be a knee brace on there that's very nefarious because you didn't have knee work done, you might want to call the hospital and make sure it wasn't just a coding error. You also might want to call Medicare and let them know that you didn't get a knee brace. And then you also might want to be sure to check back with your doctor to make sure, because those are called Medicare fraud and they cost taxpayers, they cost you, they cost individuals out there, they cost all of us billions of dollars a year in Medicare fraud. And so we want to be sure to keep people on the right track with watching their Medicare summary notices for that. And the SHIP counselors, we just have a bevy of information we give out every day. Probably a little too much, but hopefully it's a good amount, and people leave our office feeling like they've received help. And as we've often been told, we don't get paid in dollars as much as we get paid in God bless yous and thank yous, and that is, and hugs. It's really great that way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for all the work that you do on a daily basis. And thank you for staying tuned to Aging Horizons.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.